Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nerd Den here once again, and in today's video I am going to be talking about the future of Doctor Who once again, and honestly it's not good news. I'll be completely honest. This is coming from someone who used to write for the Doctor Who magazine, so it's obviously someone who's got like close connections with the show as well, and it's not looking good. I'll be completely honest. I mean, the future of Doctor Who is looking bleak anyway. And this is someone who has generally tried to be a little bit more positive, someone who hasn't necessarily been 100% against this era. Obviously, it has had its fair share of issues, but I've enjoyed a fair lot of it. Obviously, the finale was, yeah, we don't talk about that, but I thought, apart from the finale, I thought the season we've just had was absolutely fantastic, and there's such a step up from last year. But then there's been something that hasn't happened in Doctor Who's recent history. So Doctor Who came back in 2005. Even in gap years, Doctor Who has been in production in some shape or form. There's no Doctor Who in production right now, which isn't a good thing. Obviously, we've got a spin-off coming between now and next year. The War Between Land and Sea. There's a CBeebies spin-off, which will be happening at some point, but that will be at the very earliest, 2027. But in terms of the main show, we've got nothing, which is a little bit worrying. So let's have a look at this statement from, I believe, someone who used to be an editor for the Doctor Who magazine. So again, they've got the connections. They do mention that in this statement, and we're going to have a look because, honestly, again, it's not official, but it's someone who's got like connections with obviously people from the BBC, Bad Wolf, people on the Doctor Who production team, and it just doesn't look good, does it? Doesn't look good. But yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so I think there's like 4 parts to this. So my guess, and it is just a guess, is that it will be 5 or 6 years before we see anything new. At which point it will be the children, the younger generation of 2005, who will be bringing the show back, just as Russell predicted. As ever, time will tell. I suspect the show will indeed come back at some point, but as of right now, nothing is commissioned and nothing is guaranteed. Those are the facts. Time will tell, of course, but I don't get the sense of much optimism for anything very soon from anyone I've spoken to. Let's see. And talking to people, you can guess who. And again, referring to this person's connections, obviously originally being from the Doctor Who magazine. Obviously, that's like the official magazine. They've obviously got like a really good connection with the show, and also everything is moving much more slowly in television at the moment, on the assumption that the Disney deal doesn't renew before its option officially expires. That will be the point when the BBC can start to shop the show around, and that process could take a fair bit of time. It may require more than one partner just to raise the money needed. Potential partners who may have some very specific requirements or stipulations. They may need to go back to people who they turned down last time. Have you noticed how more productions have needed multiple backers just to make them viable these days? Yes, the BBC could go for the ultra cheap in-house version of the show, but I really don't think that's a viable option as it used to be. The license fee simply hasn't kept up with inflation of the past few years. And have I missed one there? Okay, no, I haven't. Alright, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can live with that. I'm just offering a perspective based on my knowledge and real life conversations with people who do actually know a thing or two about television. Let's see. If it all happens more quickly than that, I'll be delighted. Yeah, I think 2027 probably isn't looking likely either. So, it's not really looking good for Doctor Who right now. Its current form, it's over. I am probably starting to see that now, and I think people in the community and stuff, general audiences, are kind of seeing that this current version of Doctor Who is over. Doctor Who won't be away forever. I think that's, like Doctor Who is a money-making machine, and I feel like the best option that can come from this is that the BBC decide to kind of use the Whoniverse brand and make some colorizations, really push Big Finish, do some in-house animations, try and, you know, do an animated one-off or something like that. You know, try and get Doctor Who out there in other capacities, you know, before you can get the TV stuff going again. Because, yeah, I do believe this person in question has made a very good point that because Doctor Who is still under the Disney deal, up until the War Between Land and Sea airs, whenever that is, hopefully now it airs sooner rather than later, that's the end of the deal. Once that's aired and out there, then the BBC can start talking about the show's future and potentially shop around. But this is what's happening, and it does line up with a lot of the in-house leaks that are coming from people that ended up getting a lot of stuff about season 2 right. So yeah, I think overall Doctor Who is probably going to be off screen for like 3 to 4 years at the very least, which is a shame, I'll be completely honest. But obviously, you know, we've got Big Finish, we've obviously got the War Between Land and Sea, we've got you know, loads of things, we've got a back catalogue, loads of stuff, loads of comics, all that stuff. And I'm going to try and do the best I can with this channel, obviously with Doctor Who. I previously said that I've, you know, bringing back a podcast. That's going to be still happening. I'm going to be looking at some classic Who as well. It's just going to mean that I won't be having too much new stuff to talk about unless there's leaks or whatever. That's the new stuff. But apart from that, there'll be a lot of retrospective stuff. Looking back at Doctor Who's 62-year history, which, you know what, I kind of wanted to do anyway, so I'm completely fine with that. And I'm going to say this as well. I do think the show does need that rest. It really does need that rest. And I think it's for the better that the show takes a rest, takes that breathing space, and hopefully, you know, new people come in and bring their vision of Doctor Who, because that's what the show needs right now. But before I wrap up this video, I've got a little announcement. Now, alongside my usual Nerd Den channel, I will also be doing the Pokeden, which is something that I've wanted to do for a while now, especially getting back into Pokemon. But yes, as you can tell, I will be doing a similar vein of what I do on Nerd Den, where I talk about Doctor Who, talk about, you know, theories, that sort of thing. And I am going to be doing it with Pokemon. But obviously Pokemon is in more mediums, so there's the anime, there's the films, got the Pokemon cards as well, theories isn't a medium, is it? But yeah, there's a video game, so I'll be doing theories, all that cool stuff. And yeah, it's just something that I'll be doing alongside Nerd Den. Like, they're both going to be kind of on the same wavelength. Obviously, I've got my real life stuff going on, which will always take priority. You know, YouTube, for me, is always just something that I do on the side for fun. And something to just build a community and, you know, be as creative as I can. But yeah, this is something that I want to do. And it's just going to be nice to, you know, be nerdy on other avenues. So there we go. Yes, that is the news, speculation, whatever we've got for Doctor Who right now. And it's such a shame. And my eyes watering. It is not because I'm crying because Doctor Who could be over. No, I'm joking. It is literally because hay fever's been an absolute thing. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I know it's probably not the news or whatever that we want. I know it's not official. We won't get anything official for a long time, I don't think. I mean, I remember reading about when the original hiatus came around that obviously brought on the Wilderness years. The BBC actually never confirmed that it was cancelled, or at least for a very long time. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I do think Doctor Who does have a future, but we're just going to have to wait and see. But hopefully they use this time, think about, you know, all the stuff that they did wrong, but also things that they did right. Because there were some good things about this era. You know, it was a step in the right direction in some ways, but they kind of messed up, especially with the soft reboot sort of thing as well. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now, so thank you so much for tuning into the video. I will still be making Doctor Who content. I've got some stuff in the pipeline. I'm going to be doing some classic Who, some podcast stuff. It's going to be epic, all of that cool stuff, without sounding like Russell T Davies, but yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for all support, and goodbye for now.